perfectionism, over-analysis, self-criticism. It will just introduce more overthinking, doubt. It is a dream killer in a way. It can kill the flow. There's an advantage to everything, so it's not black and white. It's just somebody needs to understand that it starts to feel more and more pointless, and more doubt gets introduced the more that you pick apart and analyze and try to critique. It's like the more frustration comes up. You try to fix it. It was right the first time. It was perfect the first time. It was just as the first time. It had that magical energy the first time. Okay, this won't be for everyone. Take it where it is, but there's a really strong energy trying to come through, and it is around somebody's dreams. It's around big burdens that you carry around a project or your dreams that you've been wanting to put out and release and maybe haven't been able to, that you haven't been able to finish. You haven't been able to get it out there. It's been heavy, 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 heavy. Maybe you've done everything but put it out. And during the heaviness, you have experienced the most highs and lows, like the biggest separations, from the lowest hellscape into the depths and the fire, to the highest heavens into the spirit and air, into just your physical form. It's like you've experienced the pulling apart, the destruction of you, while sitting with all of this energy, because it's just, you feel like it's never enough, or you haven't been in your season. Somehow it's been pressed down. You haven't felt able somehow. It's like you've been carrying this. And what I'm really getting is the energy of the phoenix, okay? And please only take what resonates. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Please don't make it fit. If it really hits, it's yours, okay? But this is like the energy of rising up unexpectedly. Maybe despite all odds, or despite what people have said, or what you think, or what's happened, or time, or all the limitations of the world. It's like unexpectedly rising up in whatever way. You can't predict what way this will be. It probably won't be the way that you think, but it feels long overdue. It feels well deserved. And it feels like this pot is about to boil over. It's like it's been brewing for so long. It's been building for so long, and there's so much there, and you can't let it go, because you need to release it to let it go, like you can't just leave it buried and then like walk on. You need to like release it to walk on, is the feeling. And this could be about you being an artist or something you want to release, like in a project way like this, but it can also just be anything. You've got the 10 of everything. The 10 of wands, the 10 of swords, absolute defeat. You could have felt like failure, defeat, pressure, burden, the weight, the heaviness. You could have felt defensive, insecure, triggered, okay? You could have felt small. You could have felt like your voice mattered less and less, or like it was more and more pointless every time you tried, or like you just couldn't surface. It's like you couldn't swim up, all right? You've definitely transitioned from whatever this past thing was into the present. And it's just been almost impossible, it feels, for you to let it go. It's like that unexpressed, that unachieved thing, that unfinished thing, unfinished business. It's like when a ghost has unfinished business, except you aren't, or maybe you are a ghost. Who knows? But it's like this is business you need some closure with, whether it's that you finally do it, release it, finish it, or somehow you have the breakthrough, the revelation of like that peace to let it go. Like you need something. You can't just move on in life without this. Maybe you need a perspective switch, but something has to give. And that's where that phoenix energy is coming through for you. I'm hearing that there's been a lot of wisdom in this journey for you, but that also wisdom, you could be saying this like wisdom isn't all that it's cracked up to be. It's sometimes it doesn't really feel worth it. To go through certain things. So it looks like you've been waiting for the new beginning on divine timing. This is something you can't force. You've been waiting for the new journey, for the new hit, the new start. You've never fully emotionally moved on from this. It still weighs on you. And I really feel it's about a dream. It's about something you really desired, longed for, wanted to pursue, or was in your heart and your soul a long time, maybe most of your life, and you still haven't totally emotionally walked on from it. You can't. It's like it is your identity has been too caught with it. Your passion has been too caught with it. Even if the passion's been dead for years, or you haven't felt it or done it for years, like it's just sat there, whatever. It's never fully left. Wow. Throat chakra. Okay. So you've really been waiting, divine timing here, on some kind of a new start, whether it's the relief of this to finally feel free of this, or if it's more along the lines of a new version of this, a new journey with this, a new beginning with this somehow, or being able to start again with this. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what your message is in regards to this. What is Spirit trying to tell you? What are you trying to tell you? What is the point of this? I feel like there are other ways for you. Like this is very thinking outside of the box. Yes, some of this will naturally evolve, but I also feel that perfectionism message that was coming through in the beginning, where it's like the more you try to edit, the more doubt and pointlessness and frustration comes in. And I feel like that could be because you're still thinking in the terms of like sharing in a certain way, or having to achieve certain like spots. Maybe there needs to be a satisfaction with just doing the thing for a time, or with just little steps. Like maybe you need to find other ways of perceiving what you're doing, or what means achievement. Maybe, social media, or releasing, or labels, or collaborations, or whatever you have in your mind, like as the thing. Maybe that's not the only way to satiate and satisfy this passion right now that counts. Maybe you're limiting what counts a bit, all right? Maybe there's something here about stepping out of your comfort zone that now you're able to do, but you wouldn't have been able to before. And stepping out of your comfort zone could just look like adjusting what you perceive as accomplishment around this subject. If you're a writer, for example, and you think that the only accomplishment would be getting a book deal or a publisher and having that book published, well, maybe actually the accomplishment would just be to write a page each day, or a few pages each day, or to brainstorm. Maybe that's where you just need to get lost again in the process. Now, that might not be your scenario, okay? Maybe it's that you just need to flow and not edit, not over, whatever it is though, take it for you. There's something about a perspective switch or adjustment with the way that you're viewing the success here, or what is an actual release. What does it look like? Okay. Now the other thing I'm seeing is that some of your, let's say your disappointment around this was that you didn't meet certain physical expectations you hoped. And maybe that you feel like you've permanently lost opportunities or the ability to sustain yourself at a physical level, okay? But there's more than, I keep getting that there's more than one way to do things. There's more than one way to do this. And you're soon going to be discovering that. And I feel like that's going to allow you to access this passion, this dream, this pursuit again, but maybe not even as a pursuit as much as just marinating in and enjoying the process. And they're saying like that's when the real magic happens. Okay, I'm not sure if we'll be able to draw a grand conclusion for you in this, but we can at least acknowledge how heavy this has been on you. We can at least acknowledge that this process has been so intense, and that it's okay that you haven't been able to let it go, or that you haven't been able to move on. There's a reason, a good reason at that. And that it's also okay that sometimes you overthink, overanalyze, or all the time, whatever, that you can be perfectionist and kill the dream sometimes, because that too is a part of the process, even a part of the creative process. And they want you to remember that. They want to remind you of that. And they're saying a life worth living, a life well lived,